Huh? Turn me up, Joe. Turn me up, Joe.
Hey, yo, Saint.
Meet LeBron Molinaro. LeBron is a 6'4", 209-pound pure runner athlete quarterback. He is the #1 JUCO quarterback in the nation and a 3-star athlete. And after 2 seasons of junior college football at Allegheny College of Maryland, Molinaro would finish his junior college football career with over 5,000 passing yards, 38 passing touchdowns, 4,000 rushing yards, and 22 rushing touchdowns. But unfortunately for Molinaro, scouts questioned his shoddy throwing mechanics and his inability to read coverages when it came to making downfield throws and taking deep shots. But there was one coach in the Sun Belt Conference who knew that Brian Molinaro could take his team to the next level, and that coach would be none other than Billy Napier. Napier was the first Power 4 coach to give Brian Molinaro a Division I scholarship, and Billy Napier would not be disappointed. And as soon as Molinaro made his commitment to JMU, Billy Napier was nothing less than excited because his junior college quarterback would come fresh out of JUCO as an 86 overall. Billy Napier knew this was the exact player needed that James Madison needed to get back to the top. And since Molinaro was already a college graduate graduating in December, he would walk into James Madison in the spring and hit the ground rolling. He would go into the weight room facilities and get ready for the big-time strength and conditioning program that his coach had set for him for Power 4 Power Conference football. And when he was with his head coach, Billy Napier, it would be strictly classroom time. That means watching film, learning how to pick up blitzes, learning how to set pass protections, which run calls they like best, and what pass plays they like best, so they can hit the season rolling and get off to a hot start so that they can potentially make a playoff push for this season. Napier's offense was not about throwing the ball 60 times a game, but about having perfectly executed plays fit just for LeBron Molinaro's system so that they can win games. It was about making every defense wrong. If the corners pressed, Molinaro pushed it deep. If the linebackers blitzed, he went outside and got outside the pocket. If they were stacking the box, he would switch the call to a pass play and set his protections. Molinaro knew everything he needed to be successful. And now it will be time for training camp with the James Madison football team. And Molinaro would take this time to learn some of his new teammates, the new freshmen. Molinaro had already been there in the spring, so he's already familiar with most of the returning teammates that he has. Now he's using this time as training camp to learn his teammates, learn the offense, and learn the new guys he'll be working with in the season. And in the final step heading into the season, the training camp depth chart would finally be posted, and LeBron would finally see who else he will be taking the field out there with in their first game of the season.
So far, and you see it once you get closer to that red area, man, you get that +1 advantage having your quarterback that can be a running threat.
And the frustrating part for a defense, too, is that even when you're
5 games, he would end up just being a game manager. They would go 5-0, relying on their defense and their run game to keep the game close and pull out some easy victories over teams like against Oklahoma State. Molinaro threw a lot of interceptions and he took a lot of sacks. That seems to be the theme for a lot of this season. The offensive line is not protecting very well. We need to get some better pass protection. But against Coastal Carolina, you see we won 40-16, and this would be Molinaro's breakout game. As if you look at the box score, Molinaro will end up throwing for 321 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. He did throw an interception. He only took 1 sack, though. Offensive line was blocking great. But you see here the rushing ability, 130 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. He was killing them. And in LeBron's next in-conference game against Georgia State, it would be more of the same. He would dominate on the ground with 130 rushing yards and 104 passing yards through the air. He would lead his offense to a 31-10 victory over Georgia State, and they would move on to the next game against Louisiana Raging Cajuns. And in LeBron's next game, they would take their first loss to Louisiana Raging Cajuns. It would be an overtime loss, and the fans of James Madison were on LeBron's head. They told him, "Yes, we will. James Madison, undefeated record snapped." by 1-6 Louisiana. And LeBron would finish out the season strong, finishing his last 4 games with victories after that loss to Louisiana. It seems like him and Billy Napier was able to get it together, and they will be going in the conference championship. Him and his team would end up playing in the Sun Belt Conference Championship against Southern Mississippi. And this championship game for LeBron would be a breakout moment for him, as in the fourth quarter where his team was down 14-10 and they couldn't get any offense going. On a 4th and 4 play, LeBron Molinaro would take off for a 40-yard game-winning scramble touchdown. This would put James Madison up 17-14 with 1:10 left, and their defense would get a stop, and LeBron would end up scoring the game-winning touchdown in the Sun Belt. All right, man, so let's get into that end of season recap. Him and James Madison would end up going 13-1. They would not make the college football playoff after winning their conference. Would play in a bowl game, though. They did win that. But they would finish the season number 17 ranked. And for LeBron Molinaro, his are his season stats on the year. 13 games played, 225 completions, 361 attempts, 62% completion percentage, 2,581 passing yards, 17 passing touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. On the ground, LeBron was even better. 13 games played, 180 carries, 1,186 rushing yards, 14 rushing touchdowns, and his longest run of the season was 89 yards. So that's going to do it for this season for LeBron, man. Let me know if you guys want to see another video, if you guys want to see him go in the transfer portal, man. Let me know. But this was the career, or this was the first season of JUCO 3-star athlete quarterback LeBron Molinaro. Let me know in the next video. He might be in the transfer portal. You never know, man. But I'm out, and I'm going to catch you on the next vid, man. Peace. So LeBron would be a Sun Belt Conference first-team All-American. He was not a national All-American, did not make any of the national All-American teams. But he was an All-American for the Sun Belt. It seems like he was the Sun Belt's best player this season, as everyone's numbers don't really compare with LeBron's. You see here, LeBron had 2,500 passing yards and also gave them 1,100 running yards on the ground. LeBron proving that he's one of the best players in the Sun Belt, but will they be able to keep him in the Sun Belt with his pro potential deal breaker needing to be a B+? We will see it in the next video. You guys have a great day.
Turn me up, Joe. Turn me up, Joe.
Hey, yo, Saint.